Damon Marshall is the co-founder and chief executive officer of NuWave Health Services. Damon spent over 10 years in the pharmaceutical industry where he excelled in the research and development sector of pharmaceutical research and development of several breakthrough drugs such as Adderall, Vyvanse, and Carbatrol, just to name a few. After a successful tenure in the pharmaceutical industry, Damon decided to switch professions and he went to achieve his bachelor's degree in nursing. Damon began his nursing career at the University of Maryland Hospital in Baltimore, where he gained a plethora of knowledge. Damon worked at the University of Maryland for several years before going to pursue a more challenging opportunity as a travel nurse. Damon has now been a registered nurse for over 10 years and continues to provide health care that focuses on maintaining optimal mental health and physical health for individuals and families. In 2016, Damon co-founded NuWave Health Services with a goal of creating a culture of change. Damon is passionate about fostering a love of learning and preaches the importance of education, especially today. Damon feels knowledge is the key because it forms the foundation for personal and professional growth. Damon is also a successful entrepreneur and real estate investor with a real estate portfolio that includes numerous residential and commercial properties throughout the state of Maryland. Damon often holds seminars and group sessions where he discusses and teaches the importance of home ownership and generational wealth. Damon's authentic and honest approach is what sets him apart. A strong believer in mental and physical health awareness, Damon is passionate about being a part of the solution and has personally found great benefits in serving the community. So without further ado, my husband of 20 years, I'm gonna keep saying it. I worked hard for that.
Unfortunately for me, the overdose scenario wasn't a surprise. Although mainstream media wanted to highlight the mass overdose as something that just happened that day, for those of us who are familiar with drug addiction, we know and understand that drug overdoses occur every single day. Many people suffer from the effects of substance abuse, which includes poor health conditions, homelessness, unemployment, incarceration, and death. But to me, it seems the world has somehow normalized the abnormal. Things that should worry us no longer worries us. Things that should raise our alarms, we no longer pay attention to. Things that we know shouldn't be happening continues to happen. Things that deep down in our soul we know isn't the right thing to do, we have somehow, some way, changed our moral compasses and now look at those things as normal. Whether it's the opioid epidemic, whether it's broken families and kids being raised without a mother or father, whether it's the high level of incarceration, whether it's the low education standards, whether it's mass overdoses, and the senseless killings that occurs in our city streets. We have now been reprogrammed to become comfortable in chaos. Hell, people are quicker to grab their phones and record someone dying than they are to actually pick up their phones and call for help. But as I look out and I see all of you out in the audience, willing, eager, and able to help, it gives me hope that there are still some people out there who actually cares about others. This actually gives validation to something I tussled with when deciding which direction I was going to go in when addressing the gospel. I tussled between speaking to you about the struggles that people with addiction are going through and how the disease process works, or should I speak to you about what help is needed from you in order to help fight the opioid crisis? I was going to speak on the sense of hopelessness and abandonment that many people who are addicted to drugs feel. I was going to talk about how much the pain and trauma that has been inflicted is at the root cause of many, if not all, of people who suffer with addiction. I was going to speak about mental health and how it plays a significant role in one's recovery and how so much help is needed. But with all that being said, I chose to address you tonight. The able and willing bodies in front of me today. The people who are willing to help and who can aid in this fight, this battle, this war against the crisis that has taken over our communities called the opioid epidemic. Because what you don't see on the news or you don't hear from your local politicians about most of the people who suffer from mental health and substance abuse disorders, is actually how talented many of these people are. These people are some of the best artists, poets, singers, producers, writers, fashion designers, and almost everyone that I have ever come across are just genuinely good people that have somehow lost their way. These rare talents are displayed on a daily basis at NuWave Health Services. And that makes me want to help even more, because I realize that no matter what mistakes they have made, there's still some good in them. And there's a lot of talent being wasted that can possibly change the world. I hope you feel the same way and are willing to contribute so they can have the opportunity to get better and become productive in society. But to do this, we must first understand that this isn't about us. Oftentimes when we make helping others about us when it's really about the world. Life taught me a major lesson when I experienced the happiness and relief from finally thinking less about myself and more about others. When we let go of our selfish ways of thinking and turn more towards helping others, guess what? We become more of ourselves anyway. You understand? Now you might ask, how did I get to this point? And my answer would be, it's just a part of my journey. Life changed for me when I realized life is a journey, not a destination. Sometimes we simplify life as just two things, the day we were born and the day we die. By doing this, we forget about all the things in between, which is the journey. We often set time limits on success, or we base failures on what we haven't achieved or acquired by a certain point. Oh, I should have had this job by the age of 18. I should be married by 25, so on and so forth. But what we fail to realize, when we do that, we cheat ourselves of the beauty of life. Life should be a healthy balance between doing and being, between planning and letting go, between producing results and going through the required process. You see, now we live in a world where we want everything right now. I call it a microwave society. Society teaches us that we must have everything right away. All the while we forget to look around us and appreciate things like a friendly encounter, a kind gesture, an inspiring act of generosity, time spent on something or someone other than ourselves. These are some of the things in which, as I look out into the audience, I have seen being done tonight. NuWave Health Services is something that I dreamed about as a young boy. Like every other kid growing up in West Baltimore, I had dreams of becoming a professional basketball player, or football player, a doctor, or maybe even a lawyer. I'm sure if I put my mind to it, I could have achieved many of those things. But that's the beauty of life and the journey. You don't get to choose what plan God has for you. My purpose in life wasn't to score 30 points a night for the Lakers, or to score the game-winning touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. My purpose wasn't to top the Billboard charts as the highest selling rap artist. My purpose wasn't to be the top grandmaster at the University of Maryland. My purpose at this time is to be right here with you. Hopefully inspire you and motivate you to do something more. Get involved in your community. Try to help a friend or loved one who is suffering with addiction. Yearn for more knowledge. Do not just settle for the status quo. Donate to charities and nonprofits to help lend support to the communities. Be kinder to people. Donations doesn't have to be a dollar amount. You can volunteer because your time is just as important. Items such as books, clothes, food, toiletries are needed also. The premise is to think of something and someone other than yourself. You see, my life's journey prepared me for this moment. My trials and tribulations prepared me for this moment. My failures and ultimately my success prepared me for this moment. My trauma prepared me for this. My schooling prepared me for this. My days of running the streets as a youth prepared me for this. My days working in the pharmaceutical industry and my days working as a registered nurse prepared me for this. My wife prepared me for this. My mother and grandmother, rest both their souls, prepared me for this. And most important, God prepared me for this. There's a quote in Sinai Hospital that I used to read every day before going on a journey before my shift, just to get me mentally prepared for the day. It read, "He who saves a single life is considered as though he saved an entire world." Every time someone comes up to me at NuWave office or when I'm out in public and they tell me that something I said or something I did saved their life, it warms my heart. It reminds me of that quote and lets me know every single life has value, and the actions to save someone's life is of utmost importance. There was a study in the New York Times that found only 25% of people know their life's purpose, and people are just wandering around through life not knowing why they are here. For me, in my heart as a young child, I knew I wanted to speak to people and educate. I wanted to be a leader and an inspiration to the people before and after me. I wanted to be the voice for the voiceless and the hope for the hopeless. I would do all of these things if nobody paid me to do them. I would do all of these things even if I knew I would only reach one person. Because these are the things that made me come alive. This is my purpose. They say the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what my life's purpose is about. Thank you for listening.